Hello and happy Sunday, everybody. Nice to be back with you again today. I know it's Easter Sunday, but I'm sure there'll be a few of you tune in. If not, then I'm sure you'll be back on the replay if you've got nice Easter Sunday activities. So today I'm going to share with you one of the items that's on our last chance list. It's from the soon to be retiring annual catalogue, and it's on sale because I've just double checked before I came on air so I can make sure that I could tell you the up-to-date information. So it's still available here in the UK. Other markets, if you're watching, then just check on your demonstrator pages. Okay, going to get you down onto the table and let's see what we've got. So we've got a little heart come up there already, so somebody's there watching. Hi Angela, that's lovely to see you. I had a surprise visitor today. Somebody was passing and she messaged and said, "Are you around?" So she popped in and she managed to have a little bit of dessert from last night. Had some visitors, so we had a little catch up. It was really nice. So, and she's on board here with me now. Just check this arrow up here just to say my CPU load is slow. I hope that's going to be all right. We'll just keep an eye on it. Hi, another Angela. Hi, Angela. Nice to see you. So these are the mixed media florals, Memories and More card pack. They were in the UK here. They are £10.75. I've just written that in biro. It's not very clear. £10.75. They've gone down to £9.67. So that's over £1 off of that. So that's a good start. Now you can see I've not opened these and they are retiring. So it's one of my things to say, right, okay, I need to make some cards with these before they disappear. So we have in the pack of cards here, we have, I think it's 40 pieces. Let me just grab my glasses and just see if I can read that. Does it say? 54 sheets on here. So you've got 54 sheets. You've got some at 4x6 and some at 3x4. Okay, so lots of pieces in there. So it's kind of working out, if you work out the price per card and what you can do with them, they're really good value cards and Memories and More. So I'm going to take them out of here. You can see I've not got a clue what's in here. So it's one of my wing it nights. So these are the larger size cards. So these are 6x4. So just fan those. In fact, they might be this way. So just fan those a little bit so I can just flick through. You do get several of the same size. So you've got two of each design of the larger ones. So these have got different things on the back. They also work for the Memories and More is for the memory albums. Making photo albums. Some of the words on here will be more prone to the scrapbooking side rather than card making. These are excellent for card making. So there's two of those. And two of these, this is our story, so they could go in an album. And we've got little pieces like this on the other side. Now, those of you who know my fussy cutting, I would cut around that and make that into a card. So I might leave one each way up of these. That's scrapbook. I'm going to put aside that one for scrapbooking and this one for cards. These ones would be good if you've got something to go in here. You can have them sideways on. You've got the other side here, which is scrapbooking. So I'm going to make a pile here to the side of me for scrapbooking, and then this one for the card making, using this side probably. This one is absolutely brilliant. We'll probably use that one tonight. And then this one on the back, we've got some nice stripes on there. But you can cut those and make them into banners. So again, more than one use. So I'm going to turn that one over so we've got a back side. This one is a little bit of journaling on that one, so I'll put that to the scrapbook page. This one could have a photo on it as well, actually. So I think I'm going to put both of those to the scrapbook side. These are virtually a card front as they are. Hi everybody joining. Hi Pam, happy Easter. And the other Angela. So this is just virtually a card on its own. So I'm going to leave that in the card pile. And the back of that one, family time. Okay, now this one could be left as it is. We could cut that heart out there and then raise that portion up. So if you use a craft knife, we could go in there nicely and lift that one up onto dimensionals, and that would be nice with a photo on there. This one again is purpose made for a card. And then the back of that one is also cards. So we had one that was two that way. We've got two this way. So these are the little banners. You get two of each of these sheets. So we have here One of them is the little banners. So these would take a nice small greeting or just put some words if they were for journaling. You've got a little date piece there. You've got lovely little embellishments. And you've also got sort of banners on the bottom here as well. So they're on there. I just wonder, I think these might be stickers. Yes, they are stickers. Look, I'm just lifting that off and can prove that they're sticky on the other side. So we could have one on each pile there, couldn't we? And then these ones are the same. These are sentiments and they are sticky as well. Just look at the thicker one there. It's a sticker. So I'm going to split those into two as well. And then the little ones. The little ones are 3x4 and they're very, very similar. If there's a right and a wrong way up here. So if I just fan those out a little bit. And again, there's two of each, look. So I'm going to put one to one side and one to the other. This one could you be for cards and this one for scrapbooking. And then two of these. That's a card one, that's probably scrapbooking. Friends Forever. I've got a perfect page for that one. Those of you who have known my travels in the last 10 days with Natalie, it's been great. So that could go on a page with that. So much love could go scrapbooking. And that's just some background. We can still use that. Hello there could be on a card, and that could be on a card as well. These will be one each way. So I'll put one over there. Good times and floral for a card. What an adventure. That could go on a scrapbook page, definitely, a journal page. This could be nice detailed for cards. These could be one of it. In fact, they could be either. That's a nice little one there. They could, yeah, that could be either, but I think that would probably go more for a scrapbook page. This is definitely, like this one, definitely a card, and this one I put for scrapbooks. So today was great. That could go for either. If you're doing a card, depends what the occasion was, you could use that one for card making. So I'll put that one scrapbook and that one for here for now. These are both the same. Look, you've got that side and you've got this side. So I think they'll stay there. I'm just trying to show you the different ways that you can use them. This is a background, but that could be a card. So put that to scrapbooks. This for a card, perhaps. I do like black backgrounds because they go nicely with these papers here. Oh, but ooh, look at the back of them. Look at them, aren't they sweet? Hi Len, nice you could join us. I think both of these are scrapbooks as well. Look at those little ladybirds. They're just so sweet. I'm tempted to fussy cut, but they're a little bit tiny, aren't they? Okay, so that's got some journaling on there. So I'd put one to scrapbook and possibly one for cards, either side of those. Here's where the little ladybirds come in. So again, journaling on that one and a card on that one. Hooray, that could be on a card, or it could be, that could certainly be card. That could be a card or scrapbooking. Hooray for an occasion or something. I'm going to that way. This one, what's this one saying? Upside down, doesn't help. This is worth remembering. There's bound to be some memories from the last few days that are away with Natalie. So I'm going to put that on the scrapbook. And this one could still be as a card. You've got lots of detail on there. So keep those in that pile. So there are our cards. There's 54 in that pack. So the scrapbook ones would just go on a pile on the back of my desk there with the card. So that's going to go over there to be used later. So we're going to make a few note cards today. Just put that knife away securely. So I have black cardstock, white cardstock, and I have my note cards and envelopes. My good old faithfuls. Okay, so I've got their envelopes. I'm going to take maybe 2 or 3 of those. Okay. Now, if I take an odd envelope out, 1, 2, 3 as well, I've got an idea already in my head with those. Okay, we'll come back to those. If I get them out, then hopefully I won't forget to use them. Right, so I need a bone folder. Just hiding. Okay, it's a little bit sticky on the end of that. I don't know what that is. Clean that afterwards. So the bump side is always inside. The fibres have been broken, so we'll take advantage of that, and then that will sit flatter. And the same on that one. I always double check, just because if I've taken them out of the packet and they've got a bit jumbled, you might have one that's turned over the other way. So bump upwards. And I line the corners up at the top here and then run the bone folder over the end. So there's some base cards done. So the one that I've got out to the side here, I'm going to start with this one. Now, this one could work nicely on a horizontal, okay, like so. But also, as with this one, these could be cut in half. If you wanted to have a panel on that card that way, you could have that panel and mat it behind. So this will make 2 cards. So once we've got, although we've got 54 in the packet, you can actually make them do more. Now, the other thing I'd like to say is, how about this one cut in half and matted onto another layer of something? Either some of the papers. So that could be a really simple card. And I think I'm going to start with that one. Just want to test this width on here. It should be 4 inches. Yes, so 2 inches. How much would that give me? That's quite nice, but it makes 2 little nice note cards. So I'm going to go on that 2-inch mark and I'm going to cut that. So we're going to make that into 2. If we have this behind it, it's going to be exact and it's not going to have any border. Okay, so you need to take that into account. And if this one was just on its own, I'm going to do a black layer behind it. Great, absolutely lots of ideas. I do love these when they come out. So much so that this set hasn't been used, but that's just my time issue. Just see what this one is. I can make that 2 1/4 by, that's the 3, so 3 1/4. So I'm just going 1/4 of an inch bigger all round. So 2 1/4. I'm going to be honest with you, because the project I was going to make tonight, I've already done and I'd forgotten. So I looked back on my history and I'd already done it. So I thought I can't do that twice. So that would have a lovely little black mat on there, onto that sheet there, and onto a card like so. Now there is a card, a really quick card done. So I'm going to leave that there for now. Then this one we might do differently. We won't have that shaded piece behind there, but I'm going to do the same and do another. The size is the same, so 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. If you're short on time and you need some quick cards, things like these memories and more packs are just so versatile. So that's made into 2 cards now. I've got a layer there. I can find something else to do with that one. So I'm just going to lay them like so. You can just kind of see them at the top of the screen, can't you? Warning, system you have to close live for 10 minutes. No, this is a spam. If anyone can delete that. Can anybody see the comment on there? Notifica TON. If anyone can block that person. I don't know what that is, but that will be in the comments. If anybody can block that, then or remove it, that would be great. So I'm now going to turn to some of the others. There's 2 quick cards there. These ones in here are just some really nice, colourful pieces. I'm not going to rise to it because I think that that's just a... Yeah, it's coming up several times. Why do people mess about like that? Okay, it's got to be something spammy. So this one here can be used exactly as it is. This was a piece with journaling on the back, so that could go onto a card just as it is. I do like those patterns, and I like this pattern as well. So let's just see what else we've got in here. Just have a thumb through and just think of things, whatever comes to mind quickly. See, that one with some yellow behind it would look really nice. There's another. That's those other ones with the. Let's keep those out. Sometimes you can be overwhelmed. You've got too much. So I'm going to keep some of these out. You've got a large and a small of that, large and a small of that, and then we've got a couple of those. Let's grab some more cards. Last warning, system you have to close. I think that that's just spam. I'm going to ignore it. There's no reason why that should be spammy. We'll see. If I disappear, can you all see those comments? If we have to disappear, then we disappear. Okay, so there's another couple of bases here. Now this one I could use there. I'm just going to do this one actually first. This one here, I want to put some yellow behind that one. So if we go back to the packet that they came in, on the back of that, we have a list of the colours that are included in there. So we have Basic Black, Boho Blue, Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, that's the one I need. Flirty Flamingo is this one. So I'll grab those two. And Granny Apple Green, Mossy Meadow, Petal Pink, Poppy Parade and Shy Shamrock. Lots of colours in there to use. Okay, so I'm just going to grab those two for now. Okay, Flirty Flamingo and Daffodil Delight. Daffodil Delight's going to go with this one and then we'll use that later. On there, too small. My idea with these is to literally spend a whole afternoon or morning or something just going through them and laying them all out. If you've got a big table and you can spread them, the base cards all out, lay them out and match pieces together, excuse me, and make it a lot easier for you. So I'm going to take this one as 3 1/4. And I'm going to go 4 1/4 this way. There we go. You have reported it as a scam. Thanks ever so much, Sandra. It's good that other people can see it. So there's that one, and that could fit on there nicely. Alternatively, I've got a different idea actually. The note card sizes are 5 by 3 1/2. So what I'm going to do is just show you a whole base panel. So I want to liven this one up a little bit. So we're going to do 5 this way. And then 3 1/2 this way. Okay. So if we wanted to, we could actually do a whole base card on here and we cover the front. So there is no white to it. And then this one could have a piece of the black behind it. And you know I like to offer these up to the card to see how striking that could be with a little bit of black around it. Now what we really want on there is some texture, but that's something we could do with that one. So I'm going to cut this one to be just a slightly bit bigger. So the 3 1/2, 3 by 4, I'll do maybe, yeah, 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 on the black. She says she's buried them. Scammers throwing me off track. Back to the little trimmer if I can unbury it. So we want 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. A quarter, sorry. We could get away with that one. So I can go do 3 1/4 this way. There we go. That to the side. So if you pop this on here, we've got that one just that slight little bit bigger. Oh, that was a little bit narrower than I wanted. Let's see what it looks like. So we're lopsided because it's not quite the length that I needed. So I'm just going to take a little tiny piece off there. I think it's probably more 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. 3 1/8. Get rid of that bit. So this one's going to sit there. These are the fastest cards you can make. And even if you make them all up like so, and then put no greetings on them whatsoever, you can then wait until you want to use the card. You will have a stash of cards created, and then you can just simply add a sentiment for whatever the occasion is. If you want to just send a little note to someone, I want to say a thank you, you can quickly just get a little greeting and then add that to it on some pop-ups, some dimensionals, and then make a whole different card with it. So there's another one. The Flirty Flamingo. is this colour, but it goes with these papers as well. So might do something similar with that. There's no focal point on this one, so let's just see what we can do. Take a piece out of here and I'll try. Oh look, it's not going to go in there. I'll do 3 1/4. I'll go 3 1/4 this way. 3 1/4 and 4 1/4. Okay. Let's try to see what Angela's put on there. What if you cut the flower inner out and raise the other frame? Oh, on this one, yes, definitely. Good idea. Yeah, that's a good one to do. We could put that one on there, or we could put this one on there. They both go quite nicely, don't they? Could do a second piece and have another one. I quite like the black lining these though. I like the black accent. It just makes them stand out that little bit more. We could change that one. Now we've got the yellow card. How about if we were to do this? I have got another idea with that one actually. Let me just see. See, this is how my mind works. It just goes off at a tangent. I love playing with my scraps, don't I? So we'll put those to the side for a minute. I now we're going to concentrate on this one for a little bit. We've got that one. We've got that one. Nearly ready to go. So we've got some ideas going on there for those ones. This one, stay there. I think this one could do with a longer strip. I'm going to maybe put that black layer behind there. Like so, this one on here. But I want to add something to the background. So what I'm going to do on here is have a strip of this, a bit narrower than that, but I need it to be the 5 inches down the card. I've got a little person scratching at the door. I think that's going to be the Tiggles. So 5 inches is the length this way and 3 1/2 inches that way. You know I work in centimetres mostly, but when the base card is in inches, I kind of tend to stick to where it is. So I'm going to do this maybe 1 3/4. Let's see how that goes. Because I want to have a strip coming through here, but I'm going to put a banner on the bottom, and then this piece can come on the top. Okay, just so you can see the little banner end there. So let's grab my snips. So I'm just going to come up the middle here. If you aren't very good with your guessing, I'd recommend you place this onto a mat, mark the centre, wherever the centre is. I'm going to put this on the grid sheet here. Hopefully you can see this. So find the middle's going to be here, and I want to come up maybe to where this line is. So if I go at the middle and aim for about there, okay? Put a little dot in it. Okay, like so, and then you can still snip up to that, okay, and then you can snip in from the ends. Okay, so just up to there, and then up this end, just from the corner. I did this without my glasses down, look. So that piece will just fall out. Now, in case there's any residue from the pencil, you're just going to turn that over, so that side is going to go down on your card. Let me just let the cat in, sorry. Persistent little boy, isn't he? Oh, I tidied up my desk yesterday and all of my Tombos are on the other desk beside me, the next one over. He's joining us on the table now, little monster. There we go. So, tweezers. Hello love, are you going to come and say hello to everybody? He has this thing about elastic bands, and he will always try and find them on my desk, and often they're between stamps and dies banded together, and he will try and pull it off. He's a little tyke. So I'm going to put these 2 layers together. So this is half of one of the Memories of More cards. So you've got this one here. I'm going to put that down onto that black layer. You can probably see it easier on there. Nicely in the centre. There we go. So this piece can then go onto here. Now, do I want that? I think that one flat. And then this one to be raised. He's going to come and say hello, look. Let's bring the camera back so you can say your hellos. There we go. Little monster. Hey? Is that it now? There we go. You can run away. There you go. I don't know if you saw him actually. You might have just seen him in front of my face. So, we're still on the table, aren't we? So, I've got the piece that I just had here. That's going to come down there. And then the other one raised on top. Sometimes it is challenging not wanting to cover up nice pictures on the back. And Smudge is joining us too. That's a very loud hello to everybody watching. They've just not long had their tea, so they should not be wanting for anything. Now, that one's going to be raised in the middle there. Hello, Tiggs, and hello, Smudge. There we go. So I'm going to put some Stampin' Dimensionals on here. Grab those. Tombo's falling over. Both of you here. Now I'm going to be a really good girl today. I've got the black dimensionals. Now we do these in a multi-pack, so it is much better when you're using dark card. So on here, we take these off. They go on with white backings on them. And when we take them off, you cannot see white. So they don't show through the sides of the card. I'm going to use one of those little ones in the middle. Okay, so they come off and they're actually black dimensionals. I don't tend to use them very often. I tend to forget that they're there. But today it was perfectly timed that they were on the top of the packet. There we go, pick it up like so. And then we're going to place this in the centre. Part of me wonders whether we should have a little yellow in there. Oh, what do we think? Now I've taken the backs off. Oh, yes or no? An extra layer behind there. I've got a ruler. Let's just test this one. So this size was 3 1/4. So I'm going to do a 3 1/4. I'm going to add an extra 1/8 on there. So there's just a tiny little bit around the edge. 3 1/4. So that's 3/8. And then this one is 2 1/4. So 2 3/8. Just because I'm going to hold it over and see what you think. That one was on there with a tiny little yellow around the edge. I think it would just brighten the whole thing up. So let's do that. So I'm going to just place this neatly in the middle. There's only going to be a tiny little border. Holding my breath while I do that. And then that one can go down flat. Okay, I think it just livens the little background up there. There we go. So that's the first one done. Like I say, I think these are best if I don't put greetings on them, and then you can use them for whatever you need. Oh, you just moved. As I firmed that down. Let's try that again, shall we? There we go, press firmly on there, like so. So there's our first one finished. Obviously you put a greeting and then some gems on there. That would decorate that, and it would be finished, ready to use. Okay, so then let's go to this one as well, the yellow one. Come back to those. So this one, you said about cutting the middle in there. This is a good way to show you how to do these. I'm going to grab my craft knife. I have got the one that fits on the take your pick tool, but I don't know where I can lay my hands on it right at this moment. So I'm just going to grab a metal ruler and I'll come back. The mat that I'm working on here is a self-healing mat. So we have a metal edge on the ruler. So all we're going to do here is go along the edge. I want to leave that tiny piece of colour there. Okay, so I'm just going to hold that firmly and then cut around the edge like so. You might want to go a little bit heavier, and you're only coming down to where this line breaks. You've got to go around all the edges, and then you will stop where the slit is from the last one. Hopefully my head's not in your way. I love it with multiple layers. This one hasn't got the peachy colour all the way around the outside. I'm going to do this the other side because I want to hold it down. It's moving a little bit, but I can see, no, it's not going to work. I need to be on here, but just make sure it doesn't move. Okay, so that's on there. When you're cutting with the blade, sometimes it will just be tempted to move. It's more ideal if you can hold the ruler over the biggest portion of it. Okay, and then this piece at the bottom. Okay, and cut that one. Okay, and this will just fall out if you've gone all to the edges. If you haven't, you can just do that by hand. Just get that knife blade, just emphasize that little bit in the corner. That will just pop out. That one's released, and that one's just there. There we go. So it's a great one to show that. Thanks for that, Angela. So we're going to put that little frame around there, and we're going to make that fit. So we've got a frame on the card. So this is going to be layered on here. Okay, this could be textured. If you've got a stamp, you could go all the way around the edge of it. These two certainly go together. I love gutting papers so that we don't waste anything in the middle. This one's not, I think it's coming to the end. There we go. Just wake it up again. My jumper sleeves are getting in the way today. I'm just going to put this on a colour so that you can see where I'm placing it. Nice little border around the outside. And just slide that into place. Happy with that. I've got chunky sleeves on today. My room is really, really cold. Because the sun doesn't get on this very much. So it's been a lovely sunny day, but sadly the heat hasn't got in here. So that's going to go there. Then this we're going to have a little bigger border around there, and then we're going to place that over the top. But again, I like this arrangement where we've got a black and a yellow. So I'm going to mount that onto some black card first. So just have some cardstock around that with some scraps of what your colours are in the pack, whatever you're working on. Oh, look at this smaller piece. So this one, and just get a little piece around there. Okie doke. So let's just do that one, and just pop it on here. You'll be able to see how big this piece of card is. So this one is, oh, I want 1/8 of an inch. We'll take it to 3. So I'm going to put 3 inches by, ooh, and that one, I think it's 5/8. Let's just see. If in doubt, hold it up. It's not fast. What does it say? 3 3/8. I lost my figures. I didn't write them down. So I'm going to go 3 inches that way. That's 1/8. And you know you've seen me before. If you're in doubt, you can eyeball it, place it down and put a little pencil mark where you want to cut it. Okay, and where that pencil mark is, then you'll have that on your cutting blade here. Okay, as long as you can see it on your coloured cardstock. I can see that pencil line. It won't show on the screen, probably. Okay, so that's my little panel to go on there. Just a tiny little hint of a border, just around there. Okay, so I'm going to stick those together and then trim it down if I need. Separate those. Put that in there. So I will be putting an order through in the next few days. I haven't got a definite date, but I will be placing another order. So if anybody wants anything and you want to have a look at the last chance list, anything that's on the sale prices and catch those before they disappear, then please let me know. A little tiny piece of glue on there I can see. Just wipe that off. Nice little border, and then we go back to the yellow underneath me. So that would just pop a little bit better on there. Hi Shaz, nice to see you. So again, the same with this. I'm going to do it the pencil way. I'm going to mark this here. So get the same border on two sides where you want it. Okay, then I'm going to put a little pencil mark there, the even border there, and the same there. So two little pencil marks. So I'll now place those on the cutting edge. I've got that one there, and then this one there. A couple of tiny little scraps there, and then that can mount on there. And let's get this one together. I'm not going to texturise this one today, just because of time factor. I'm trying to do several cards for you. There we go. Tombow getting to the end. And of course, when they do get low, let me just see if I can find another. When they do get low, I tend to cut them through the middle and then get a paintbrush or a toothpick and use the last dregs inside. There we go, that's a better one. So this is just going to slide to meet the whole of the card. So you can slide this one like so. Make sure it's coming that way as well. While the glue's still fluid, slide that over a little bit to the fold. There we go. Got a little bashed corner on there. I don't particularly like that. So if you get that and you've got a little tiny corner there bashed, I would like to do it on here, but I don't think I'm going to be brave enough. I think I'm going to be just with the scissors. Just a tiny little piece there. I know it's there. It's probably not going to show on the camera, but just to go matte, really, really level with that card piece. And then it just peters out. There we go. Little wafer there, look, whisper. Hey, just to keep Sandra happy. So this one's then going to go on there like so. So this will be flat, similar to the other one. So flat on this one. Our Tombow is just so great, you just don't need much of it, as you can see. This one's going to go on here. I have to do a pink one next because it's we've got two yellow and blacks. And this one can come on here, and then we'll put the two together with dimensionals. I do have the stamp set that goes with this one. There is a stamp set and some dies, and they stamp these type of images, these ones here, the flower and the tulips, really, really nicely. They're great for watercolouring, so all you watercolouring enthusiasts out there, it's really good for those. So this one can go through the centre like so. Okay, if you wanted to, you could put a little piece of black through the middle. Look at those scraps. I've only got the packets to that. Oh, this is perfect. Just a little banner like so, and that could go underneath. Okay, so we could flag those ends. If I cut that to the 3.5 inches, or just under a fraction maybe, so 3 inches, just a tad under. And then we're going to do the same little trick here with the scissors. We're going to flag those ends. So we're just going to little snip in there, glasses down so I can see. Okay, so we're going to have up to there and in there, just from the corners into the point in the middle. Okay, let's get rid of those. And then the same size at the other end. I tend to snip that. If you snip, scissors do go right to that point, but sometimes as they get a little bit older, they don't quite make it. There we go. So there's 2 little flags, so I'm going to put that one on there flat, so that can come over. And because of how the size I've cut it, you're just going to have those little bits coming out the end. So that's just a little trick for you. Scraps do come in really handy. Okay, so get that as near the centre as you can. So line that up between there. Whole box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's kind of 5.5 in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. So kind of going to be looking around about there. Okay, it doesn't have to be exact, but it just helps to be nearer. Okay, might be a little bit eyeballing. There we go. And then when the panel goes on the top, it's going to cover the hole up and it's just going to sit there like so. So I kind of like that effect. And these are going to go on Stampin' Dimensionals again. So let's put some of these on. 2, 3, 4, and then one of the little ones in the middle. Has anybody got these Memories of More papers, cards? There was some designer series paper as well that went with it. So you can get the whole 12-inch sheets if you really like the papers. There we go. So quite quick cards to put together. You can kind of lay them out and get them organised beforehand. And there we have 2 finished. We'll do this one next. And I think that's going to need to have the Flirty Flamingo behind that. Like I said, I like them framed with black. All of these papers tend to lend themselves to the black better. It's just too short that way. Okay, so let's cut that one through. A big trimmer back. I want to do this one to the 5. I'm going to make it deliberately just under, so I'm going to come an 1/8 under, so we get a little bit of white on this one, and then the 3.5, but come down an 1/8. Just hopefully, is that 3.5 or 3? Drat, I did 3, didn't I? An 1/8 under the 5. And an 1/8 under 3.5. There we go. And that should give me a little tiny white border all the way around, like so. There we go, that's better. And this one is going to be the 4x2. So I'm going to go just over that. So I want this to be 4 and an 1/8 this way. And it's by 2, so I want 2 and an 1/8 this way. No. 3 and an 1/8, isn't it? 4 by 3. So we've got an 1/8 on each side. There we go. I need to look at the last chance list again. Next, yes, the only thing with last chances, it is exactly what it says on the tin. It is last chance, so you might find things do start to sell out. I'm just going to mount this one on here. Okay, I'm just leaving a little border around the outside. Just going to raise that up and then chop a piece off the bottom. Just get that leveled up. But you can see all this has been is just cutting and layering at the moment. Nothing complicated, just matting and layering. So I've got 3 sides there, all the same gap. Coming down here. Make sure that binds. And then I just need to shave a tiny piece off the bottom. I'm trying to rush and get several cards done, aren't I? There we go. You know me, I eyeball well. Okay, so we're going to do the same as the yellow one here, and we're just going to have that slightly inside. So we've got some white there, and then this layer is going to come on the middle there, like so. Ready for a sentiment, all ready to go. So how have we been? Oh, we're not bad, 3/4 of an hour. So tiny little gap all the way around. Make sure you press firmly without it sliding. Like so. And this one to come straight on there. Like Angela said with the other one, when we cut the other panel out from the middle for the yellow one here, we could have gone round with a knife. You could actually go round the centre there and round that design. And you could have done the same thing and raised that middle piece up. I'm not going to do that today, but it's just another thing to remember that you can actually do. Somewhere I've managed to get a little tiny piece of grit in my eye. One eye is just streaming a little bit, so we'll worry about that one later. I'm not crying. Just got some grit in the contact lens. There we go. So that's another little card done. So that's 3 all sitting there. Then what should we do for the last one? Shall we go with... We have a few choices here. We've got this one, which really does cut in half that way really nicely. You could put the whole thing on a piece of card. If you're feeling generous, you could fill the whole piece of that and cut that to 5x3. You could mount a little, let's do a landscape one. Let me do that, because we've shown you how to cut this one, and that can be a panel on a front. See, that could go with those colours and go on there. Then mount that onto a card. Let's do this one. Being a little bit generous, I'm going to make this a 2, just under the 5, 5x3.5. So let's come 1/4 of an inch under those. So a 1/4 of an inch under the 5, and a 1/4 of an inch under 3.5. So it's 3.25. Please let that be right. Yes, there we go. So that's going to fit in the middle there, because I'd like to have something behind it. So we're now going to grab a piece of the black. Let's slid over there. And we're going to cut this to an 1/8. So we're going to come an 1/8. No, I'm going to take that the whole size. It's 5x3.5 card. So let's go 5x3.5. Okay. And this will be really, really simple, because this will fill the whole card. Okay, like so. Okay, and then this one will just be mounted. Again, just showing you how quickly these can make some lovely cards. Tomorrow I'm going to be prepping for a class I've got here on Tuesday. So I'll be in the craft room all day, the studio here. But I would like to continue this theme and actually have a whole mammoth pack of note cards done to share with you on Wednesday maybe. So that's just left the whole nice little border on there. If you wanted to do more, you could actually sponge around the edges. You could put another layer in there. Hello, the little boy's back. Looking for Tiggs. You can't see this one very well because it's on a black card on a black board. I'm going to hold it up away from the surface. me just do it over here, you can see better. Just going to slide that round a little bit until that's even. And that one will be really nice just as it is. But if you want to do more, you could do a sentiment coming out from a side here. And then you could have, that's the strip of that actually, that might work. On a black banner. So like we did with these banners here, if we put that behind it. Oh, let me show you how to use up scraps. So this is good as it is. This one wants to have that white edge trimmed off it. Remember, this was the back of something else. So I get rid of the white and make this to kind of a length we might like to see on there. What I'm going to do is put this as a banner, but I think it's going to be better at the top there. So this is actually just over 1/2 inch. So this wants to be 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 is there, along that line. So those two will come together. I'm not going to stick these down, I'm just going to show you how we're going to do it, because I don't know what sentiment's going to go on there yet. So if you had, pretend this is a piece of white paper, just to make it stand out. And then here, I would flag those ends again. So we kind of want to have something coming in there, and then I'd be inclined to have a little greeting over the top of that. Okay, so I'm just going to leave those cut to the same length, or a little bit less, like so, and pop that inside. And then what I would do is cut that to the required length. And once you've got a sentiment going on there, then you can tailor it according to what you want. If you have just a short greeting, you just want a short banner, and then flag the ends again. Okay, so that's that one, will be that one. So I'll pop them inside, but that's a 4th card. So time wise, we're kind of coming near to the hour. We could do the 5th one. We've got another one out here. I think we might use this one. So we've got 2, a white one and 2 of each. So the this one here, Flirty Flamingo, that's just too short for that one. Again, these look nicer. I'll put some comments up here if you agree with me. These, I think these look nicer when they're framed with the black than framed directly with the colour. That's a little bit short. But if we put the black behind it, see what a difference it's going to make. That just brightens it. It just makes it stand out so much better. You've got it in your basket. Well done, Debbie. So I like that look of it. So I'm going to mark, because I've got it lined up, I'm just going to put a little pencil mark at the bottom here. The reason I say bottom is it's easier to see in the trimmer. When it's right at the top of the blade there, you can't normally see it. But down here, I can definitely see where that little pencil mark is on the cutting edge. So put that one off. And just in case there's a pencil mark in the corner there, I don't think there is, I will stick it that way down. So that panel's going to go on there. Again, just lean on there so you can see. Such a shame to cover that up. Such a shame. So, but we have to do it. And you're back, are you? Hello. Smudge wants attention. It's a rarity to get both of them in, isn't it? There we go. That's lovely. And then that one to have a, just that size is the right size. So I'm just going to mark that one as well. Eyeballing exactly where I want the little dot. Okay, and trimming that edge. So quick to do. It's the same piece I think I used from there. This little tiny pencil dot on the cutting edge. You can see that really clearly. And that can be off there. Okay, so there we go. This one's going to come on here. If, like I say, if I'd had the embossing folders out, I'd be inclined to put some texture on there for you. And there we go. Around the edges, a little scribble on there. And then down. I did get the Archers bundle out today because I thought some of these might look nice with the Archers, but it really hasn't needed them. So I'm happy with that. That's the black layer. So let me just see what we're going to do with. Does this want to go on there as well or not? I think that's overkill. What do we think? How do we think that looks? Maybe off to one side. Oh, undecided. This one? No, too big. That's not going to work. I'm kind of tempted, you know, with this one. Just have a quick little look through these other cards. Just a sec. Because we've got the sentiment ones in here, so these sentiments would be ideal to leave it out for when you're ready to use them. Just going to have a quick flick through and see if there was anything that was going to work with the colours that might. There we go, we've got the other card with this one. Because that will be smaller, I'm just thinking that might look nicer coming in that corner. Just as a little accent on there. So we're going to fussy cut. Just going to whiz around here. I haven't fussy cut lately, have I? Okay. These aren't the sharpest of my scissors, so I'm just working around this one. Love the Archers, absolutely beautiful set. Those dies are just incredible. You've seen me use those already. I need to do a lot more with them. And they can work the other way up as well, upside down as a banner. So the Archers, so you have the flat edge and you have the banner with the curved bottom. They will look nice as a banner. So I'm just going to roughly cut round here, okay, to get rid of this excess. I won't throw that away because I can still use this for banners and accents on with the memories and more cards there, or on the scrapbook pages. Just come down this side. Hopefully you can see me under my scissors there. Lose track where the camera is. So round there like so. Turning this piece of paper this end. I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, you do everything in reverse. Just grab a mirror. Okay, just swiveling that as the scissors cut. Swivel out and in. Oh, I'm just off camera, look, sorry. You're zoomed in closer today. Just bring that round that edge. And round there. There we go, nearly there. Love these tulips. Just in time. It's the right season, isn't it, to have tulips? Absolutely a staple. Yeah, I love them. I still have lots of the retired basic shapes dies. We had a really old set with the rectangles, with squares, the circles, really old ones, and I still keep them because they always have their place where you just want that particular size for a project and you can't find it, but you can always, the basic shapes always come in. The Archers are just a brilliant addition. Different shape. Okay, so hopefully you can see me just doing those. Cut that in there, the last piece on the home straight and across the bottom there, jagged as the branch, as the stems have done. There we go, all done. That piece will go in the bin. So this little bunch on here will look nice in a corner, but I think it needs something behind it, and guess what? It needs to be a little piece of that black. Got a piece here, little tiny panel. I'm going to grab that trimmer. Because of the black line art in these, it just works with the, oh, I'm going to go a little bit over tonight. Let me find those arches. Having talked about them so much, I'm going to have to show them to you. For anyone not seen them yet. So these ones here, you can see what I'm going for, can't you? I need one that's just going to sit that inside it. Be that next size, just for that to sit in centre like so. So we might need to just go and grab the little cutter, so must do it. We might have got away with one slightly smaller. That's close. I'm going to do the smaller one. Move those out of the way. We'll do the smaller one with this piece of card and a slightly bigger one with another piece of card and see which we like best. So this is our, I need to bring you just out a bit. Out a little bit more, there we go. Move you over. So hopefully you've got that a little bit bigger now. Cutting plates on there. This one face down on there. We've done really well tonight. I've got 5 cards done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can see how quickly they are to assemble. Pack of note cards. You get 20 note cards and envelopes in a pack. And just sit and play. In fact, it'd be interesting to see how many you can get of 2 packs. So you've got 20. How many you would actually get done out of that 20. And then I'm going to do the bigger one. I'm not quite sure which size we want yet. That's just going to fit on there. Maybe a bit close. I'm not going to risk it. Just roughly cut around there. Turn that over to the cutting side. And pop that little one out. It's gripping in there quite well. Because it's got the little teeth on here where the dots go, it's really hankering on that one. It's not going to let go. Come on. You don't want to part. Well, that one did. That one came out lovely. Aha, there we go at the top. And they stick like that. If you have a problem getting them out, it's just because it's in those little teeth, all those little dots in there have just gripped it tightly. Next time you cut, if you cut with a piece of wax paper, so the wax is into the die, so when you're cutting it, the wax is facing upwards into the die. When you cut and then put it on your card, the same, and it will cut everything, but the wax will push up into those little holes, and then it'll make it so it releases easier for you next time. Okay, so I'm going to put those away so I don't lose them into the box. And then see what we're going to use on here. So we have this one here. We could have that over to the side or in the centre. That one there and that one on there. That does fit nicely. Or it wouldn't matter if it was overhanging. So like so, that would still look nice. So we can still see more of the flower paper. That one or that one. Oh, decisions. I think you can still see a lot of the paper on there. I like that it covers more. Once more. This one. You look at the comparison for the size of this one. I think that's going to work nicely. Let's use that one. So let's get these down onto the card. This one's going to go down flat. I have several new bottles of Tombow. I just don't want to waste what's in here. There we go. So that panel, there's no right or wrong on here, I don't think. No, whichever you think looks best. Okay, there we go, that's there. Then this is going to have this one on top of it. That's going to go flat, and then I'll put dimensionals on the back of the arch. There we go. Sit nicely in the centre there. Okay. And that will sit on there, but it was going to be raised. Okay. And again, if we wanted to, we could have a burner through the centre like this one. I do like that idea, just to break it up, even if it's lower down. Let's quickly do that one. Little trimmer, slightly under the 3.5. 3.5, just a smidgen under. Okay, and snip the ends. Snip the glasses down. So snip into there, in from the corner, and in from the corner, and then snip in the corner. Oh, I've just seen the screen, 2 smaller arches. Well done, girls. There we go. So that can go on there the same as last time, but I'm going to do this one a little bit lower, just on here, and that can sit partly up and partly down. So this one's in the centre. Okay, so we're going to put that one about there. Okay, so I'm going to put this, the adhesive, through the middle here. My eye is just eyeballing that. Okay, there we go. Only because I was in a hurry. Okay, so that's the level I want to put it at. Just have that little bit of flag. You can see on there, I'll hold it up. Just so that little bit of flag just goes in. I just took a tiniest little bit off the width of the card. So it's still going to go in the pink, and it does look outside of that frame. And then this is going to have dimensionals. Black ones, because and this is going to have those there, 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 and there. It's so much better when you use the black ones on black card. Okay, and this one is going to sit in the centre. You know, I might have put those in the way of the banner, but that won't matter. Just want it top to bottom, left to right, and pop that on there. And there we have 5 cards. This one's done, except for the last little piece of the banner. We're going to use that on there somewhere when we put the greeting in. So just lay those out nicely if you want to take a screenshot. Just get those lined up for you. So that's 5 cards. That was bouncing open a little bit. A little stray piece there. There we go. Keep that one flat for you. So those will be at an angle just because we're going to use those when we're ready. Okay, so I hope you like those. I've had great fun doing these. A little piece of glue there. I had great fun showing you. And like I say, they are in the clearance rack. So if you want to get those, do just, I've lost the packet. I'll pop it up on the link on the post in a little while, just so you can see what the number is. Just click on it to go and place an order. That's a pack of 54. Can you remember at the beginning? Pack of 54. And they're just so adaptable. They're just with no stamping. Not really, I mean, I did do die cut this one, but nothing else really complicated. So you don't need a lot of materials to do it. But I'm just going to look forward to just blitzing these and then having a whole assortment of cards ready to go. All right, so I'll bring you back to me and move you across. There we go. and say thank you for joining me tonight. We've just gone over the hour actually, and we didn't get any nasty spammers kick us out. So thanks for addressing that one, Sandra. And the other Sandra. And I will be back with you on a Wednesday this week. It's Sunday that I don't know what time I'll be back for, but I have got a thought. I might go live. I'm not promising, but I might go live. I'll put a little note up beforehand. Either Friday or Saturday evening, I've got some free time, and I might do something then because I've got something in my head that might work well. Okay, so thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching on replay, those that come back later, and I will see you all again soon. So take care and happy Easter. Enjoy the rest of your bank holiday weekend. Okay, bye.